Welcome, welcome! This is Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. Today is part 5 of my Professions of the Verse series, and today's job is all about mercenaries. So, what is a mercenary in Star Citizen? Well, mercenary can be a very broad or general topic. I mean, literally you can do just about any job in the game and be considered a mercenary. But when most people think of mercenary, they're going to think of putting your life on the line, possibly going into combat, kind of being a military asset that's not part of the military. So you're kind of separate of the military and you're putting yourself in danger. So for all intents and purposes, that's kind of what we're going to focus on for mercenary work today in today's video. So what can you do in the game right now that would fall under those guidelines for being a mercenary? There are quite a few different missions that you can do that are going to be combat-based, mercenary type missions. And let me tell you real quick, bounty hunting, which we went over yesterday, can fall under the mercenary umbrella, okay? You can do both bounty hunting and be a mercenary, vice versa. So I'd say they work quite closely hand in hand. If you're a bounty hunter, you're a type of mercenary, is what I would say. So let's just add bounty hunting to the list of things mercenaries can do. Because you're putting your life on the line, you're going into danger or dangerous situations, and you're doing it to be paid, So whether you're capturing, killing the enemy, you're being paid to do it. It's a type of mercenary work. So we're going to kind of exclude bounty hunting at the moment because we talked about it yesterday as a more specific job because some people will choose just to be a bounty hunter, whereas some people want to be a mercenary. Let me show you this. I jumped to Aberdeen and my ship just exploded. Just out of nowhere. Craziness. Boom. So that's the biggest risk of being a mercenary. No, not jumping to Aberdeen, but you're blowing up, you're dying, you're getting shot. Your death is the biggest risk of being a mercenary. Right now in the game, death is not really a huge deal. You're not getting hugely punished for dying, especially in mercenary line of work, because the worst that's going to happen is you lose your ship. Or you lose the weapon you have on you if you're doing like a ground-based mission or, you're fighting EVA or whatever. So that's the worst that's really going to happen. You just wake up in one of the halves. Or you wake up on your Cuddy Red or your 890 jump in the medical bay. So there's not a lot of punishment for dying at the moment as a mercenary. Which is great, it gives you the ability to go about missions with a little bit more risk. In the future, the death mechanic is going to be permanent. So if you die, you're dead. They're going to sugarcoat death a little bit. I guess that's the best way to put it. By allowing you to die a few times before your death is permanent. I know it sounds like you have multiple lives or some such. That's not really the way they're going to do it. In lore, what they're going to say is, oh, your ship blew up, you were found floating in space, Cuddy Red picked you up and revived you, but you've got some damage, we're going to have to take your arm, and we're going to give you this bionic arm to replace your arm, or we're going to give you some metal parts to help replace the damage that was done to your arm so you have more use of it. Or, hey, you lost an eye, it's going to cause some issues. We're going to give you this replacement eye to help with it. So eventually you're going to build up so much damage that they just can't recover you anymore. And then you'll be permanently dead in the game. I know it's kind of scary, right? They will have mechanics that you can pass along all your equipment and money, etc., to a close relative or some such. You might want to have an extra game package so you have an extra character to do that. Just a little hint, and eventually I think they'll sell extra characters, NPC characters that you can use as close family members, in the future. I don't know how much they're going to charge for that, but I guarantee they're going to do some sort of sale for that somewhere down the line. We don't have to worry about the permanent death feature for quite a while, though. So, not something to worry about in the game right now. Just think about it in the future. And I like to approach a lot of my missions with that little aspect in mind. I don't want to die in my mission. I don't want anybody on my team to die in my mission. That's just how I am. If somebody dies, it wasn't a good mission. And, because I don't want somebody to suffer in the game in the future. So I want my team to be pretty well rehearsed, versed in whatever situation we're going into. Which brings me to another point. You keep hearing me say the word team. A lot of the mercenary missions out there, you should probably do as a team. At least until you get the hang of them and know where things are and know how to do them with less and less people. They pay out pretty well if you can do them solo. There's not a lot of Mandalorians out there, but there are a few that can do these missions solo. I have done quite a few of them solo at this point, but I've also done them several times before attempting them solo or, while dying solo. I've got a lot of experience in them is what I'm trying to say. So I can do a lot of them solo, Mandalorian style. But if you ever watch The Mandalorian, you know that he's not always alone. He's got some help in a few of his missions. So I do recommend that you do a lot of the mercenary missions with a team. The 890 jump mission's a great one to do as a team because you've got to find the hacking computer, disable it, and you've got to take out 20 enemy combatants on the ship. So that's a perfect example of one that you would really need to do as a team. You don't have to, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend you do it. It's much easier as a team. 3 or 4 people going in can do it a lot better than, one person, especially when you're trying to find the hacking terminal, because it can be in any number of places, and one person trying to find it in 4 minutes is very difficult to do. The claim jumper missions, which you can see I'm doing right now in my constellation, Phoenix, those are, if you're in a bigger ship, they're easy to do solo, but if you're in smaller fighters and stuff, it's better to do them as a group. Again, the payout's about 10,000 on it. It's about 17,000 on the 890 jump missions if you do everything the correct way. So as a solo player, you're making good money. In a group, you're going to want to knock out a bunch of these as quickly as you can to make the most money. Again, if you're rushing, though, you have more risk involved. You could lose, you could die, you could blow up, you could, whatever. So doing them solo is not always the best idea, but it has a better payout. And I think the payout needs to be even higher for some of the mercenary missions. Like the 890 jump mission needs to be higher. The bunker missions probably need to be a little higher. Even the claim jumper missions could be a little higher. I hope that they got to make the juice worth the squeeze. So if you look at the claim jumper mission, you could probably do 3 to 4 in an hour. If you're soloing them, that's 30 to 40,000 in an hour. Mining, you could do probably twice that much easily in an hour. Cargo hauling, you could easily do triple, quadruple that in an hour. But here lies the problem. Cargo running and mining. What's the barrier to entry? So you have to have a ship that is capable of doing either one of those. For mining, you're going to have a prospector or a mole. If you're just doing first-person mining on the ground or in space, you're going to have a ship that can scan. So let's open it up to a Cuddy Red, Terrapin, something along those lines. So the barrier to entry is higher for mining, quite a bit higher. What about the barrier to entry for cargo running? Well, you can do that with starter ships, but you're not going to have a big cargo. So the money that you're going to make is not real high. In order to start making the serious money when cargo running, you've got to have, bigger ships, freelancers, Cutlass, even, you know, a Caterpillar, you know, those type ships cost more money in game, out of game, etc. So the barrier to entry for cargo running is much higher than, say, mercenary work. What's the barrier to entry for doing mercenary work? Nothing. There's no barrier. You can go with whatever ship you have to start the game, your starter ship. Heck, if you don't even have a ship, which you have to have a ship to play the game, but if you didn't have a ship, you could jump on somebody else's ship and do mercenary work just fine. You don't have to have any, there's no barrier to entry. You can do any kind of mercenary work with a starter ship. Now, it becomes more dangerous, obviously, but there's no entry requirement. It's not like you have to have a freelancer to do mercenary work. You kind of have to have a freelancer to start making some big bucks cargo hauling. You don't have to have a prospector to do mercenary work. You have to have a prospector to make money mining. Plain and simple. And really, you want to have the top mining head on there to make money fast in a prospector. So the barrier entry is even higher. So what I'm getting at is it's much easier to be a mercenary in the game than it is to be a bounty hunter, or to be a miner or a cargo hauler. So anybody can be a mercenary, but the risk is higher. The reward needs to be high too. So is it worth it for what it is in the game right now? It's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's bad because the mercenary missions aren't really that hard, at least for the ships and the guns and stuff that I have, or the experience I have. So that's just more reason for a newer player to get in with a team to do some of these missions, to learn them, so that they can learn how to do, you know, the mercenary work. I don't know. I think mercenary stuff is going to be where the game kind of shines. You know, yeah, I like doing cargo runs. I like doing a lot of the different jobs. Mercenary work, though, is going to put you down in the nitty gritty. It's going to get your heart pumping. It's going to get your adrenaline going. To me, that's going to be a lot of fun. You're putting a lot of risk out there, but they're not going to make the game so impossibly hard that you can't complete that kind of work. It's got to be fun, right? So part of the fun is that you're able to complete it. There should be a little challenge, but you're able to do it. And that's where I feel that, you know, some of the mercenary jobs right now are, but the AI's definitely got to improve on some of these other missions. Anyways, guys, give me your thoughts down below in the comments. Hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. I think almost 80% of you are not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell to let you know when I do these videos. I try to do one every day, and I'd love for you guys to be able to get in on them early. Anyways, I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.